Cesure suggested that media texts often have two layers of meaning. This would therefore suggest that colours were symbolic and often had deeper layers of meaning and associations which would help an audience to understand and decode the narrative and genre of a film. I had this in mind when trying to create continuity between my media product, given that I knew I would want to use similar colours in order to ensure that my audience decoded the deeper layers of meanings and associations within my film through the colours in which I had used. The thriller genre conventionally uses a red, white, and blue and black colour scheme. These colours are all symbolic, like Cesure said. Therefore, with an awareness that I needed to make my audience understand that all three of my products were under the same marketing campaign and were all promoting the thriller film, I decided to use consistent colours within my work. This would not only effectively create continuity between my work, but also ensure that I use colours to encode meaning about the narrative of my film and the genre of my film. It would also help to encode an eerie atmosphere within all three of my products, which was important within the thriller genre. Blue was a symbolic colour within our piece, given that it helped to encode that our central protagonist had a fear of drowning and being trapped underwater. Therefore, I used this symbolism and the colour blue within the colour scheme of all three of my media products to ensure that there was continuity between my media products, whilst also being able to consistently encode the deeper layers of meaning for the audience regarding the fact my central protagonist had a fear of drowning. I added this blue filter layer onto the editing of my images by going onto the color palette on iMovie, which allowed me to add a blue filter layer to footage within my trailer. For example, in the establishing shot within my trailer of the tap in the bathroom, you can see how I used a cold blue filter layer. This successfully helped to establish a color scheme right from the start of my narrative, and thus ensure that a tense and eerie atmosphere was created. Another shot within our trailer that uses this blue color scheme is this close-up of Justin, our central antagonist. Here you can see how we've edited the shot so that it uses a blue color scheme. This blue color scheme helps to make Justin look eerie and slightly threatening, given that the bags under his eyes are emphasized through the blue color. Therefore, this is another example of how we have used blue as a color scheme within our trailer. Another example can be seen within this mid-shot of Bee's bed. We added a blue filter layer to this mid-shot in order to make Bee's bed look unwelcoming and cold. Therefore, you can see through the way in which we have used this colour scheme a lot within our trailer that we helped to establish it as a well-known colour scheme within our trailer, one that associates to the genre well too. This shot of Bee wrapped up in the bed also uses a conventional blue colour scheme. The colour scheme we used consistently meant that it was a recognisable colour scheme for our audience, meaning that they associated our trailer with this colour scheme. This therefore helped to firmly establish the colour scheme, meaning that I could also use it within my other media products in order to combine my media products effectively. Also see from the written and title screens that I have used within the trailer that I have been able to ensure that blue is a colour scheme that was established within my trailer. You can see from the blue background used within these written screens that my trailer helps to consistently establish a blue colour scheme. As you can see, I have established blue as a colour scheme within my trailer, and therefore in order to create continuity between my media products, I also use blue as a colour scheme within my poster and my magazine. As you can see, I also use this colour scheme within both my poster and magazine front cover, through the use of the blue background. I use this colour scheme given that when in Photoshop I edited out the background of the original images to ensure that I could layer the images onto a blue solid fill background. I have successfully been able to do this to help my audience identify that all three of my products are promoting the same film and are working underneath the same marketing campaign. I have consistently used this blue colour scheme throughout my poster, trailer and film in order to encode the fact that all three of my products are for the same film. This therefore allows my audience to identify my film through this distinctive and good use of consistent colours. This therefore shows one way in which I have been able to successfully combine my products. Barthes suggested that media texts have two layers of meaning that can be identified as connotation and denotation. He said that the connotation talks about the deeper layer of meaning that is associated with the media language. Given that red symbolizes danger, death, and fear, it was an appropriate color to use within my products in order to create continuity between them and ensure that my media products were consistent in promoting the thriller genre. As you can see, I used the red color scheme within my film trailer through the manner in which I captured the bright red fake blood. My use of the mise-en-scène of the blood was symbolic code which allowed me to establish a color scheme within my film trailer, which I could then use again within my ancillary products in order to create continuity between my products. You can see from the manner in which I shot footage of the blood throughout my trailer and not just in one scene, that I was seeking to ensure that my audience understood that the colour red was functioning as a colour scheme within my product, thus meaning that I would be able to use it within my ancillary products in order to effectively create continuity between my media products. As you can see from my film magazine, the red typeface which I have used consistently throughout the magazine in examples such as the masthead and the strapline, create cohesion between my products given that I have established a red colour scheme within my magazine as well as in my trailer. You can also see from the way in which I have edited the image on the magazine front cover to add a red gradient filter onto the colour, that I have edited the image in a way that would conform to this colour scheme. This therefore is another example of how I've used colours to establish a colour scheme within my product and thus successfully combine my three media products. As you can see from my film poster, the manner in which I have edited the image so that the central image has a red gradient mask over the top, in my opinion has successfully helped to establish red as the main colour within the poster. Through the manner in which I have uploaded a red gradient filter on the image and then placed the image so that it takes up the majority of the page, successfully shows the manner in which I was able to ensure that my audiences understood that red was a main colour scheme within the poster. This therefore meant that I was able to use a red colour scheme throughout my poster and magazine and my trailer, thus creating continuity between my three media products. This shows how I have successfully been able to use red as a bold colour scheme within all three of my products in order to combine my products in an effective manner. It shows how I have used the colour in order to establish the genre of my film and therefore create consistency throughout the three products that I have created. One final colour scheme that I used in order to create continuity between my three products and ensure that my audience understood they were under the same marketing campaign was the use of the colour white. As you can see from the trailer, we tried to make sure that Bee's bedroom was mostly white. We did this given that it would help to encode Bee's vulnerability and how on edge and unsettled she felt as a result of her mental illness. This then became an important colour scheme within our trailer, given that, like Barthes suggested, the use of colour had deeper layers of symbolism beyond surface meaning. Therefore, the white walls and bedding helped to establish that Bee felt vulnerable within the trailer. This therefore established white as a colour scheme within our trailer, thus meaning that it would be a good idea to use the colour within our ancillary products in order to create continuity between our products and effectively combine the three products that I had produced. Other shots within my trailer which demonstrate this white colour scheme include the bathtub. As you can see from the bathtub, we made sure that the bathtub was white, thus meaning that it helped to reinforce this white colour scheme. At the start of the trailer, we captured Justin wearing a white top, given that this would also help to establish the colour scheme right from the start of our trailer. The shot of the knife on the side also uses this white colour scheme, given that the side was white and therefore helped to contrast more significantly to the colour of the knife. We also used this white colour scheme when capturing Justin in Bee's bedroom, whereby he looked frightened and worried. We also used iMovie in order to enhance the naturally white colours within the room via editing the colour palette within the shot. This meant that we could enhance the white colours and ensure that the colour scheme was prominent within our shot. Furthermore, in the trailer we ensured that the typefaces used on the written screen within our trailer were white. This helped to ensure that we established a colour scheme through the use of footage and through the use of typeface colour on the title screens within the trailer. In terms of my poster, you can see the manner in which I released this full using a white typeface and also included the starring actor's name in a white typeface. Both shows how I have used a white typeface in order to create a white colour scheme within the poster and ensure that the information stood out to my consumer on the poster. The information stood out given that the white typeface contrasted with the dark blue colour that had been used within the background. This adoption of the white typeface can also be seen in the billing board, where this typeface is also white in order to ensure that the information could be seen, given that it was placed over the red and blue colours within the poster. Therefore, the manner in which I have used white as a colour scheme within my poster, magazine and film trailer so far show how I've been able to create continuity between my three media products in an effective manner. You can also see from my poster that I used a white typeface for the title of the film. This demonstrates how I used this typeface in order to establish a white colour scheme, given that it was the largest piece of typeface on the page and therefore automatically made the audience look at this typeface and the colour scheme used within it as one of the first things they looked at when looking at the poster. It is important to recognise that we did not just choose the same colour schemes within our work in order to create continuity in them, but we had a purpose behind choosing the colours that we used. Colour holds a great deal of symbolism, like Cecile said, meaning that it was important for us to choose colours based on how we could encode meaning for the audience, and then use these colours consistently, rather than just picking random colours to use consistently throughout our pieces. To conclude, the blue shade that I use consistently throughout my three media products also encoded a deep symbolising link to the narrative of the film. One symbolism behind the use of the blue linked to the fact that Bea, our central protagonist, had a fear of drowning, thus meaning that the blue colour helped to metaphorically show that her fear of drowning and being stuck under deep water was getting out of hand. This therefore shows how I've been able to use blue consistently throughout my three media products in order to encode this meaning, thus increasing the chance that my audience will be able to decode this dominant reading. Through the use of the blue colour, you can see how I was successfully able to create continuity between my three media products, combining them in a successful manner. The white colour that I consistently used throughout all three of my products was done in order to symbolise that the central protagonist was vulnerable and innocent. White normally connotes purity, thus meaning that my use of white as a consistent colour scheme throughout all three of my products successfully helped to encode that my central protagonist was weak, vulnerable and inferior as a result of her mental illness. This therefore shows how I was successfully able to use the white colour scheme in order to encode meaning about the narrative of my film, whilst also being able to successfully combine my three media products in an effective way and promote the film with continuity. Overall, I was able to successfully use colours as a way of combining my media products in an effective manner. Colours allow me to create continuity between my three media products, thus meaning that my media products look professional and coherent given that they use similar colour schemes to promote the film. Therefore, I would say that my use of colours in order to combine my three media products was really effective and helped ensure that my audience understood that the three products I had produced were under the same marketing campaign promoting the same film.